wrestlers with open arms. In the heat of the struggle, we feel no harm. Through the fingers grip like steel's too strong. Together we thrive like a thunderstorm.
Oh, now we're live. Hey, boys.
Hello.
What up?
Hey, you know what? Yesterday, Michael Monster Todd complimented the intro.
Nice.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. He goes, awesome intro, guys. I'm like, oh, wicked. Thanks.
Nice.
Yeah. It was kind of nice. Yeah. So you guys all ready for your big match? So you're going to be competing the same day we're doing nationals then? Is it next?
No,
the
our
26th?
match is July 26th.
Oh, okay. So we still got a little bit of time. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still a little bit out.
And where is that the match going to be held?
Myrtle Creek, Oregon. So it's a tournament. It's the Joe Woody Invitational, and all proceeds go to the suicide prevention program. So, and for me, I like doing tournaments like that because it's not about the money. It's about, showing up, supporting friends, and then having fun, good arm wrestling, that kind of stuff, So sometimes it's always good to kind of go to those kind of events because it kind of grounds people, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, we need to start doing some fundraisers here. You don't hear of it that much. So
yeah,
for a good
I've never
cause.
been to the Joe Woody, so I'm excited to be there.
Yeah.
How far is
fun.
it? How long do you have to travel? Can you drive there?
Yeah, probably 7 hours.
Yeah. I'm driving 7 hours to nationals. So yeah, okay, yeah, makes sense. And what about you? What about you, Jody? Is that not as far for you though?
It's about 2.5, 3 hour drive because I'm located in the center of the state of Oregon. So I have to go over it and come down. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right on. Wow, what a match. So this is not even your first match. You were the first one that David ever super matched, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember that day. I remember that hot day.
Dude, that was hot. Yeah, and that was the first tournament that I had ever tried to throw. And just because nothing ever happens in North Idaho. So I just said, what if we just did it? And then I had watched some of your stuff on YouTube for a while. I think it was YouTube or Facebook. And then I jumped on the rankings and I saw that you were on there. And then I was like, I'm going to call this guy out. And everybody was like, what? And then I'm like, yeah, well, if we get him, then he's going to.
Oh. You lost your sound.
Oh,
there you go. I hear you now. You cut out. Yeah,
we missed all that.
I missed all of it. Yeah, it was like, whoa.
What was the last thing you guys heard?
That you were coming out. You saw me on the rankings, and you said you were going to challenge me, and if I come, and then it went out.
Okay, because when you come, I know that you're going to bring some of your team, and then we'll just get to intermingle and meet more people in the sport. Because at that time, arm wrestling was so fresh up in North Idaho as far as team goes. We probably had 6 of us, 7 consistent people, all of North Idaho practicing, maybe a little more, or people just started to. There wasn't that much. And then since then, to what the practices are now, I don't know if you guys saw my photo that I posted recently of our Tuesday practice, but that's a normal Tuesday practice.
Yeah, that's a good
one. Well, I'm glad you guys are getting bigger because I was talking to Jordan last week in our event, and I was joking, but I was also being serious. I said, every time you guys come to my event, there's 4 extra people, so it's kind of like you guys are growing because, prior to you guys building your team up in the Panhandle, it was either Boise or Pocatello, right? So that's all you knew where all the pullers were. So now that you guys got things rocking and rolling, I actually talked to Jordan and I suggested this because I got the idea from California. When those guys do the North and South, it's Northern California versus Southern California. And I'm thinking as you guys are getting bigger and better and stronger and expanding your team, y'all can have that. Northern Idaho versus Southern Idaho. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh yeah. Yep. The tough part lately is I've really stepped away from promoting, or I mean, like I'll watch videos and stuff, but I don't. I arm wrestle train like crazy, and I arm wrestle
Mhm.
people all the time, but I don't. I'm not going to be the one anymore to try to set up events or tournaments. Like the tire shop is a whole my 70 hours a week of just
Wow.
tires, selling tires and putting tires on, and then on top of that, my son will be 1 in August, so there's like
That was quick.
Yeah.
That was quick.
yeah. So I can't. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any time to. But we have a pretty good team now of people that all work together to help throw the tournaments because they don't want them to stop. And
Right.
before, I was doing like what Engen did, like where I did way too much on trying to plan it all, and then I
Yeah.
thought I could do it with this shop, but I would prefer to have them figure it out, them throw it, and then I just go. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Somebody else in the club take on the responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I wouldn't mind getting out there, man. I wouldn't mind getting out there,
Yeah.
guys. It'd be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got Dion David Wilson coming from Montana
Oh yeah.
in like 2 weeks.
I'm not
And
going
then he
there.
wants to meet some of the guys and set people up with super matches.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Dion are no longer friends. So
Oh, really?
oh yeah, we're done. Just like that.
I,
Yeah.
I,
Yeah. But no,
I've
that's
never had a falling out in arm wrestling. I don't know. I just,
yeah, it's just when people get on social media and start talking shit about me, I can't be your friend anymore. So
right. I've had one arm wrestling falling out, but I will save that for not a podcast. I'll save it for if
Yeah.
everything goes my way this year for a call out.
Nice. That's
Not
the
one,
way
not
to
one of
do
you
it.
guys. It's
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah,
I
I'll
haven't
save
had
that.
to arm wrestle somebody I don't like yet. That would be cool.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, I have to make shit up in my head to get mad at them when I get to the table. So
Yeah.
nice to have it.
I
Just
can't do that. That's just not in my DNA to sit there and like make up a story for me to get mad. I
I
can't.
do it.
I'm just cut from a different cloth. Like for me, I don't want to, and I don't want to waste too much energy, rah rah rah, and all that kind of stuff to get to the table. That I'm just burning energy that I could be using toward the actual go.
I
Right?
can tell
That's
you,
just me.
every match that I haven't got mad, I've lost. And you know what? I said I was going to get mad at Brennan, and we were waiting to go out and arm wrestle, and Brennan was nervous. Like I seen it in him. And I said, "Hey man," I said, "Don't worry, man." I said, "We're going to go out there, we're going to put on a show, and whatever. Whoever wins wins." I went out there and he beat me. The last guy before him was Chuck that I pulled, and I wasn't mad at him. And then he said something to me, and I got pissed. I said, "I'm gonna rip your fucking hand right off your arm." And I didn't get tired, didn't get blown up. I was strong. All my super matches where I go to that dark place, I just never get weak.
Right.
With Brennan, yeah, by fucking the second round, I was like by the end of it, I was done. Like, yeah, he had me blown up. So
Right.
yeah, I think it's good. If you got something, it's yeah, just Matt always says you got to go to your dark place, man. Think crazy shit. Just think crazy shit. Think he's got your kid in the fucking back room or whatever you got to do. Don't tell people what you think, but just think it. I'm like, okay. So whenever I've done it, fuck, I've crushed everybody. So I'm gonna get back to doing that, I think. Yeah.
I don't have to. I always say like I'm gonna hype. Let's hype this matchup. But everybody of arm wrestling I like a lot, so I have no.
Yeah.
I don't
No, I
even
like
want to
that.
ever talk
Yeah.
shit. I can't like. Yeah, but for me, I can get hyped real fast. Well, I've like trained myself to do it like with deadlifting.
Yeah.
Deadlifting and lifting heavy weights. Like I can be at work selling granny tires and then go home and freak out and deadlift 800 pounds and like
Yeah.
foaming at the mouth. But
I know
like
you mean.
nothing happened. I just
Yeah.
get myself there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, different people have different things. And I found, yeah, if I can get mad at the person, and I look hard now. I remember the one super match, the guy, he was such a nice guy, but he always beat me in practice every time. This guy, Christian Dell. But anyway, big guy, 400-pound guy. But the match came, and I was like, had butterflies. I felt like I was going to puke. I was so nervous. And I looked over, and he was leaning on this van laughing like I was nothing. And I was like, oh, I'm nothing? I'm a bitch, eh? I'm like, who's the pussy when I got to the table, right? I was like, and he's looking at me and I'm like all fired up. I fucking killed him. I've never pinned him in practice, but I killed him 4-0 that day. So, sometimes you got it, right? You just got to go there, right? Act like it's life or death, you know? I don't know.
But there are some people out there you just don't want to lose to. That'll fire you up.
Yeah.
And it's no offense against them, but it's like we'll use Chuck Young.
Yeah.
Probably somebody you don't want to lose to.
Yeah.
But that alone, that fear, like if I lose this guy, that's gonna make, CBS News and all that kind of stuff. And so I better, not lose this guy. But
Yeah.
also doing that, when you think too much of it, then
You
because
can
this
do the
sport is
opposite.
real, like it can crush some serious egos if you're not careful, right? Because
Yeah.
you got to have some kind of ego in the sport to even last or compete. But it's all how you can you control that ego, So, everybody's going to take a loss, but some people build themselves up so much to where if I lose, then all of a sudden you don't hear from them in 6 months. Then you got to do a welfare check on them,
Yeah.
because that loss, whatever, is so devastating or something like that. Not everybody, but just some people,
Yeah. Well, some people don't quit, and there's a guy in the chat right now that just came in, Ryan Bellinger. That fucking guy. Tell you.
Actually, it's Belanger.
Oh, I know. I always say it wrong. I always say it wrong, but whatever. I fuck up everyone's
Hope
name.
I got that right, Ryan. Hope I got that
Yeah,
right.
yeah. But he said, because you know what, Alan. I mean, honestly, I thought Alan was good. I thought Alan would be too much, and Ryan said, you know what? If my arm don't break, I win. That guy he went all out, arm break, fucking who cares? And he just pulled. That was an amazing match. I just typed in somewhere today. I said, I think that might be match of the year. That was really good. So,
Well, here's the thing. So if you go back to that match, and this is just, me breaking it down. Allen took his hand every single time.
every time.
And, what people say is that if I take your wrist one time, I'm going to take it the rest of the time. But it's a little different when you're in a strap.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
you got that support where I can go ahead
You
and
can
get in
bind on
there
the
and
strap.
lock it. I can plant my elbow inside my body like that, shoulder commit and go, okay, motherfucker, go ahead and do that.
Mhm.
And Allen just didn't have the,
You didn't have a transition. You didn't have a proper transition was his biggest problem. And I would
Right.
say at Allen's level now, you think that he would just, develop a transition. Like he is such an efficient top roller, but like even when I lost to Brennan, I was got like second round, I had him. He stopped me this far from the pad. Normally, my instinct is to come in and press, but because I had so much fucking pride in that match, I thought if I just slam him again, I'll get it. And then eventually it just came up. He just worked me back, and I was like, fuck, why didn't I press him? Right. So, I mean, yeah, top roll, transition, right? If Allen would have just hit and transitioned right away, he would have beat Ryan 3-0. But Ryan was wedging, and I think Allen was even having a hard time transitioning because of the way Ryan was getting his wedge in there. But I mean, there was things Allen could have done for sure, right? Definitely not try
Yeah.
to keep slamming through his wedge. Like, pull him out if you can, or transition and press, right?
Now, normally, and I want, you guys' opinions, I want the chat's opinions. When it comes to super match, it's all about making adjustments, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're taking someone's hand, why do you need to adjust? Unless if you take somebody's hand and you still lose, some way, somehow you got to make the adjustment. I just don't think Allen did that. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Allen because
Yeah.
that guy is
Oh,
the
he's
most
good.
technical person I've seen,
Mhm.
and to a T. But again, if you can't finish, like what's lagging? Is it the fact that, his last word engaged when he took his hand? Okay, are you afraid to not drive and then like do that and then come down? Because I never saw that.
No, he kind of slowly worked his shoulder up the one round and pressed it, but it was such a long process of just incremental climbing. I think Allen's just such a good top roller, he never has to transition. But what he should be working on is that top roll right into a transition. Like just
Right.
make it a bam bam, like a two fluid, hit, transition, press. I don't know. That's what I seen. If he had that, he would have won for sure. But
One of my old coaches taught me, when I got into the sport, he goes, "You never know when you have a secondary move until you have to use it."
yeah,
So,
that's
you
true.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's good to be versatile, like, yeah, you're going to have your ace, but when someone figures your ace out, you got to be versatile, right? If you don't have that versatility, every guy that studies you afterwards is going to know, right? So,
oh yeah.
You know, I've been working my inside now, and my outside's always been strong, but my inside's getting deadly too. So now, if someone does stop me or able to suck me in, I'm going to be strong inside too. I'd rather be
Right.
versatile and kind of, and then you never know when you're in a deep hook and no one's getting anywhere, and then you do a can opener and top roll the guy, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
At that point, it's more feel. Like, okay, you can
yeah,
feel if you can't. You can tell if you're going to be able to can open with somebody or not. There's just
Yeah.
that, talk about that feel. Like, okay, if you and I are deep, there's a certain lane where it's like, no, I'm not going to be able to do this because you'll tease it for a second to see if you can, and if you can't do it, then you go to something else.
yeah.
So, what do you think, David?
About super matching and adjusting.
Yeah, just
That's
making
like biggest problem.
adjustments here and there.
That's the thing that I try to work on the most. That I think that's why you people get better with more competition, because then they can be in the competition environment to where they have to adjust more. Like with round one with Dustin Houghton, I thought I didn't know or I didn't think that I'd be able to get a stop. But if I would have just calmed down and if I would have just waited,
Mhm.
then like that's what I should have done instead of trying to go for side. And I should have just calmed down. I was like going crazy, but I was trying to like just go nuts and like I don't know. I should
You
have
did
just
pretty
calmed down,
good. I
just held.
thought Dustin was going to beat you worse. I did.
I would have loved replaying round three. I'm gonna scream that for a while, but he was way stronger. But if I would have just slowed down, then I think
I
round
think
one
you
could have went
taunted
for
him,
quite a
didn't
bit
you?
longer.
Didn't you
What's
say
that?
I thought your son was strong to land or something?
Yeah. And I told
Yeah.
Dustin that he didn't have enough power. It's like you don't have
Okay.
enough power.
Who guess who's might be pulling Len here soon?
Who's that?
Who?
Me. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Yeah, we were talking. He I think he was joking, but I took it serious. So he goes, "When are me and you gonna have a super match, Bry?" I said, "Oh, really? You're gonna give me something to train hard for?" I said, "Yep, let's do it." So anyway, it's in. I think we're gonna do a Red Deer versus Lethbridge, team versus team, and then all super match Len. And he's number 2 in Alberta right now. So
Mm.
What I think what happened with me is there was so much shit talking that I wouldn't even do anything. That when I did do something, I just went too hard. I went too
yeah.
extreme.
No,
But
you pulled
I had a
you
great time. I had a great
you had
time.
a lot of heart in that match too, because I mean, even the
Yep.
one stop you made, I was like, whoa, you didn't give a shit if
Yeah.
you broke your arm either. So
No, but I've trained that spot since 2021, 2022.
mm,
Like I started to learn it and get like decent like Kings moving open top roll right before Jody.
mhm.
And then from that point, I was like, well, I'll just keep making this better and better and better. And then I've been work. It's pretty good now. I don't even use it anymore unless I'm competing, or I guess if I'm a couple hours into practice and people are ripping on me. But I try to stay away from it until I need it.
Yeah, it's like that. Pull it out of your back pocket when you need it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't want to train that move too much. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
No.
So how do you are you ready for Jody? You know what Jody's about.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Well, the thing in my mind is like, Jody, if you were as good as you were in 2022 or a little bit better, I'm a whole lot better than 2022. A lot. So I'm training like crazy. I freaking live and breathe it right now. And from walking, thinking about it, I think about it at the tire shop. Like we have tables here at the shop, so I pull the guys every day. Training, we have 2 hour practices on Tuesdays with 40 people, and I just try to get as much table time as I can. I was doing some weightlifting, like I'll do my compound lifts, like my deadlifts and bench press and stuff like that. But I just enjoy the arm wrestling so much that I've been trying to do it all table time.
Right.
I do
No,
like blood flow, but
I feel that you are not the same person you were. Was that 2022, right? Yeah, you're not the same
yeah,
person
3 years ago.
you were then. You're a lot stronger, smarter. I think now you have a supporting cast around you, if that makes sense,
Mhm.
Yeah, that helps too.
than you did when you and I pulled 3 years ago. So I know for a fact that okay, I'm not pulling the same version of you, and so for me to sit there and think that oh, it's going to be the same David Till, I'd be fooling myself, right? So, I never go into a match thinking that, oh, I got this. I'll just go ahead and do what I did last time. This sport evolves so much. The athletes evolve so much. And, you got to think, I mean, it could be night and day. Like, who knows? I mean, you may come in and all of a sudden, damn, Joe, I didn't know you had that kind of move in your back pocket, whatever. Or you might sit there and go, damn, man, David's a lot stronger than he was last time. And I might find that out the first match, the first ready to go. Who knows? I'm looking forward to it, though. I know you've been wanting this, and there's a few other guys out there in the Pacific Northwest that, has rang my bell, so to speak. You're one of them. Chuck Young, he's nonstop. He's nonstop. Nick Moda's throwing some stuff out there that he wants to pull me and stuff. And I get all that. And that's what this sport's all about. It's like taking challenges and not ducking them. I don't want to go off on no tangent because we're not about that. But there are some athletes out there, men and women, whatever. And they, what's that word people use? Gatekeep or whatever. And
Gatekeeper,
yeah.
They protect their spot. I'm thinking, you know what? Didn't you get into the sport to compete, not to sit there and get to a certain level and just sit there? So that's strange to me. But like with me, it's like I know at some point I'm gonna lose these guys. It's gonna happen to eventually because we're all getting better. Because then all of a sudden, if I beat David like I did 3 years ago, then in his brain, okay, I'm gonna get him next down the road. I'm gonna get him again. And here we are. We're about to have it next month. If he somehow beats me in July, then I'm gonna be like, oh, I want the rubber match. We got to have this tiebreaker. That kind of stuff. And so it keeps, you training hard for something like that. I think we kind of lost, we lost that, unfortunately.
Oh, if you're still in the chat, Ian, I want my Mac jersey. I haven't got it yet.
Was Ian in the chat?
Yeah, he was. I don't know if he still is. Yeah, he was. He said, "What's up? What's up, Mac Arm Wrestling? Awesome league." Yeah, look.
Hopefully, one of these days I'll be on there so I can, kind of showcase my talents and kind of, stick my toe in that water. So
yeah, yeah, I'm down the next time. I did get offered a match Mac too, and I turned it down because it was Christmas. My wife wouldn't let me go. It was December 21st.
Yeah, I forgot he had one there.
Yeah, it was supposed to pull Tiny. Me and Tiny were gonna pull.
Yeah.
So there's a chance for you to go again, though, right?
Yep, I think so. I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully it's the one that he invites you to, and I'll meet you there instead.
There you go.
Yeah.
But I'm still bummed out about the M Spot and David Gelder and that debacle.
Oh, me too.
Really
and that's
looking forward to that.
That was also had to do with why me and Dion aren't friends anymore because
is the M Spot dissolved?
Well, the M Spot had no choice. I mean, basically after Dion, and then they had to pull down all their content. And after all that shit, he just said, listen, like I'm out, my credit card's racked up now. And basically everybody, I just have drama everywhere I go. So he left. And and I sided with him. So that's why me and Dion aren't friends anymore. But I don't have any hard feelings towards Dion. I just didn't agree with his opinion. That's all. But that's fine. But I think the M Spot could make a return. And I'm still friends with Gelder. I talk to him all the time. I'd like to get him to come back and do productions because you know what? Those productions are like you can't put a price tag on them. They're amazing. So
I saw those and I was digging it. I was like, oh man, this is pretty cool because it's like your own little region. You can compete and not deal with all the other excess, bullshit. And I was like, going, this is pretty nice. And I was talking to him. And before everything kind of, blew up, he was saying, hey, man, do me a favor and keep October 4th open. I'm thinking, okay.
I was pulling with you, too. That was the next City Slickers. We were going to pull Florida. We were going to pull Florida.
Was that who it was? Yeah. I was excited for that.
Yeah.
And I'm like going, damn, I'm thinking that could have been awesome because I saw the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, and I think the first was under the Montana Armbreaker League, wasn't it?
Yep. It was still Gelder. Gelder owned that anyway. Gelder owned that. Yeah.
Okay.
But he stopped using it. Yeah, he stopped using that name. That's all.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you see stuff like that, that was cool because it wasn't about all the drama. It was just like, hey, let's just go ahead and compete. What's up?
That was drama. That was drama because Steve Fernandez left and called us all fucking and this and that, and I was a shitty ref, and he'd never use me again, and fuck it, that ended up being a nightmare afterwards with all the drama from that event. But you know what? It was still amazing. I refed and I loved it. The matches were great. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
And not to mention, if you watch the whole thing from start to finish, it came down to the last match of the night to break the tie between the ladies.
It. Yeah.
So,
Madison Walker got the big win over
right.
Yep.
Jolene.
Yep. And Jolene's no joke, and Madison crushed her.
Yeah. So it goes to tell you right there. It's like, okay, this is big time stuff over here. So, I wish they would come back. But then, sometimes I'm kind of going, well, maybe it's for the best, but I tell people
situation.
Yeah, I always tell people, everybody has their own path, right? Because here I am. This December, I will start year number 16 in this sport, and I got to sit back and tell myself, okay, well, what do you have to show for it? I got multitude of state titles and stuff like that, but do I have a national? No, but I finished third one year. Do I have a world? No, but I took second one year. So I'm kind of knocking on the door. I just got to break the door down, bust it down. I got to go ahead and do that. So I really got to kind of focus on, what those goals are, because IFA, right? So IFA Nationals is in Ohio next year, Dayton, Ohio. And then IFA Worlds will be in Tokyo, Japan.
Okay. Did you know who's got 2027? We have WAF Worlds in Canada.
That's what I hear. So is that still a go or what?
Yep. That's gonna be huge, man.
Is that what Joey Costello said?
It was posted. Yeah.
And see, the thing is though. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm gonna do nationals next year in Dayton. Yeah,
there you go.
Gonna go give it a shot.
Yeah, why not?
Is it kilos, right? It's like 105 kilo and then 105 kilo plus.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
We had a bunch of guys this year from here went down to nationals. That was that IFA, that big IFA event there. What was it? A few months ago? It was just a few months ago.
Well, anyway, we got tons of them. So shit.
Yeah, we all our guys came back with hardware though. All our guys podiumed. It was fucking awesome. Yeah, it was pretty cool to see. So
I wish nationals, now I'm speaking for the States, I wish it could come back to where it used to be, mean something, because as a competitor, can I sit there and be honest on live podcast on the Through the Fingers podcast show?
Always.
Can I be honest for a second?
Always.
When I saw you guys' numbers at Canadian Nationals last year, it made me want to puke and it made me jealous because I wish we had that.
Yeah, it's because you have 5 different you got 5 different organizations calling it nationals all over fucking US. So how are you supposed to get the proper numbers to a nationals? You know what I mean?
Well, that's just it. So it's kind of like, it's I don't know. Anytime I hear, what was the total? 908 entries, is that what it was?
Yeah, we're expected to break 1,000 this year.
I mean, that right there, it's just unity, bottom line, right? And I wish we have that, but we, at least you guys
get along.
Yeah. We're all friends. We're all friends, man. We're all brothers.
Yeah.
Everybody. There's 2 people I don't like in arm wrestling here. I'm not going to say their names, but everyone else, man, I would let them stay in my house if they needed. Like if they're down for the weekend, whatever.
When you guys say, or when you hear the phrase, we're doing it for the pullers, that's the epitome of that. Because it's like, it's all about arm wrestling. Because if you win nationals, you did something. And I know you guys got rid of the triple elimination format, but damn, and we got so many, and I wish our promoters would come together and go, look, man, if we can't, instead of separating and you're not getting along with this promoter and this promoter's not getting along with that promoter, and then we all separate, and then, well, I'm gonna create my own. It's like going, you fucking just watered it down yet again. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. Because now it's like, if David goes to, a national, I go to a national, we pull the same class with the same hand, and the old story goes, we're at a fucking diner, and the waitress comes, we got our fucking medals and shit, and what are you guys doing? David Till's like, oh, I'm this weight class left-hand champion. So am I. And she was like, well, wait a minute. Both of you guys take first. Well, the only time it was cool, me getting to the sport is when they had the Triple Crown. Because that's when there was money. Everybody put money in the pot. So if you won first at the AAA Nationals, the Unified, the USAA Nationals, then there was some money to be had for those people. That was the only thing that was worth it for that 3 Nationals. But we all know of the 3, only one of them was the route to WAP Worlds. So.
Clifton says Brian hates me. I don't hate you. I hate those videos you send me when my elbow's fucked up and you're doing 200 and something pounds side pressure. No, you know what? He's a fucking beast. Clifton's a beast. I'm telling you. You want to see elite numbers. That guy's moving weight these days.
That's awesome.
Hey, I see it all the time, man. And congrats to him. And that stuff's working for him,
He's working hard. He's working hard. And he's got a match with one of my good friends and my teammates coming up at MAC. It's going to be fire. It's going to be match.
What's that, MAC?
Yeah, MAC 4 in Ottawa. Yeah.
When is that anyway?
August 30th, I think. Yeah.
I know Ian talked to me about that one. I'm like, well, I'll be on vacation then.
That's a big one.
Right.
Yeah. It's going to be a big one. And that match is going to be fucking epic. I can't wait for that. Yeah. My buddy Victor Beloff, he's like a really good friend of mine. He's Canadian national champ. He's actually really fucking good. And he was at that Florida qualifier down there for East versus West, and he got second on both arms. But
nice.
No, he's really good. Like, he's really good. Actually, he wanted to pull Tim Talmadge. So that's the match that I'm going to try to line up for him coming up.
At MAC?
No, Victor just wants to pull and crush Tim Talmadge. He doesn't care where. Yeah.
And what's his name? Victor who?
Beloff.
Beloff?
The Russian. Yeah, he's like Artem. He's our Russian spy. Yeah. He's really good. I think, didn't he go down? Did you meet him, David? Didn't he go down to that event where you had a match against Dustin? You didn't meet a Victor there?
I might have.
Yeah, you might have. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you went there.
I talked to a lot of people.
Yeah. That was a good event too. I watched all the matches. It was great. Yeah, I wanted to be there. Couldn't be there. And then that production for me and your brother's match, though, you know what? I lost, but I still used the video footage because it was awesome. I normally don't.
They deleted it, right?
Yeah. Well, no, I still have it. Yeah. I'll give it to Brendan if you
there want. You go. Yeah, he's so sad. Yeah.
Oh no, don't be sad. I still have it. Still have it. So yeah, because we redid those matches on Through the Fingers, right? Because Gelder didn't mind if we did. So
okay,
that was the cool thing about him.
Are they on your channel?
Yeah, it should be right on the channel. You should be able to rip it right there. Yeah. Just type in Brian versus Brennan or Brennan versus Brian and
Through the Fingers. Yeah.
Perfect. Be able to get it. Yeah, I know. He took down all. You know what? There's Garage Wars. All my buddy Dale's so butthurt. Yeah, he got his first win at Garage Wars, and then his match against. Oh, I have it though. I didn't tell him when he beat Niles Anderson 3-0. Right? He's like, I don't have that footage because Gelder took it all down. But now I'm thinking I have it.
Yeah, you can sell it.
Yeah, no, I'll give it to him. It's on our podcast too because Dale's like one of my best friends in the world. So. I train with him like 3 days a week. So, yeah, he's somebody to watch for. Deadly Dale. He's strong, man. Good enough.
And that's the thing. Do you see what I'm saying? All these names. And I was just starting to get into all the guys in the area.
Yeah, I know you mean.
And all of a sudden it just poof, it's gone. It's like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was supposed to have, I got offered a match August 30th. I was asked to either pull your brother again or Dustin Finley is his name from Montana.
Okay.
Strong guy.
I think he follows me on Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a really good guy, actually. And I was supposed to pull him. We had our match set, and then he backed out because Nathan Johnson crushed him. And then I guess his elbow was tender. So anyway, I ended up not being able to pull him. And that's why I pulled your brother. I wasn't supposed to pull your brother. I was supposed to pull Dustin Finley.
Yeah, Brennan had 2 weeks notice, I think.
Yeah. And the thing is, I was training for Dustin Finley because he's a presser. He just likes to go right in like this and press right away. So I was training like just my basic move, my top roll, right? Where I top roll people. Because I'm like, okay, Dustin's gonna go in. I'm just gonna punch to the ceiling. I'm gonna catch him center table, and then I'm gonna fucking pin him, right? And then I got your brother, but I was watching your brother's video footage, like his past matches. And I'm like, if he just does that, I crush him, right? I mean, because in a lot of your brother's previous matches, he just went like, it was just like he would just wrist curl people and drag them. So I'm like, oh, I don't even need to train. Like, I don't need to. I wasn't worried about your brother. And then your brother comes out and he's like, slips all slick and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is that? He usually just like holds on or like wrist curls. And he was like, I'm like, he's pretty good. And then I get up there and I get in the strap and I'm like, and then I slam him round one. I'm like, he's done. I'm like, gravy, right? But then I started thinking in my head, well, I did actually, you know what? I felt, on the finish there, I felt like he was almost stopping me, right? I'm like, fuck. And I go back to the table, go set up. Brendan's like, fucking slides right out of there again. I'm like, fuck. We go in, and he did. I'm telling you, I got to give him credit because he trained for me. Like he looked and analyzed what I did and had a game plan, and I didn't. I went in there thinking I was just gonna crush him. I didn't care how he pulled, and then he started fucking with my head because he wasn't doing the shit I seen him do in all his previous matches.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was a level up. I don't know if Brendan leveled up on that day, but fuck, he wasn't the same dude I watched in those videos. So,
But it's funny, it was either Gettler or Dion, they called me and asked if I'd pull you right-handed. And I was like, no, like I don't do anything right-handed. I mean, maybe the kids. Like if the kids, I'll do one pull with it during a practice. That's it.
yeah,
And then I was like, no. I was like, my brother will do it though. And I didn't even talk to him.
yeah. You just knew.
So I was like, yeah,
knew.
sign Brendan up for it. And then I just called him. I'm like, hey, you got a suit match in 2 weeks. I approve your time off. You got to go. And he was like, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I heard him talking after. Oh, I just watched his videos. He always does the same thing. So I just switched to this. I was like, fuck that kid. I'm like, I'm coming back for you, Brennan. I said, okay. You know what? You fool me once. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Next time it's going to be a little more prep, and I'm going to take you a lot more fucking serious. Believe me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, good for him, man. I'm glad. You know what? He's a really good person. I'm glad I met him. He's got a big future, man. So
Now he's just waiting around for another match.
yeah, no, I definitely want to pull him again, but I don't want to rebound pull him. I actually want to build my confidence up, and then there's actually him and one other person I got to get it back on. I'm gonna try anyway.
So
But
the
other
shoes
than
that you're in
that,
right now, Brian, is the ones I'm in with Jody.
yeah, exactly. Similar, yeah.
Yep.
Definitely
Like
similar.
well, as far as rematch goes, like
Mhm.
Yeah.
just been training like crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have really good endurance, so I'll do like the whole. Well, I think last time I was on your podcast, I said the same thing. Like I'll do the whole hour or 2 hour practice just left-handed, and
Yeah.
then maybe throw my right in one time. But I know that I'm getting better, especially after how I performed with Derek, because Derek murdered me. Derek Mahiran murdered me in 2021 in December at Washington State, and I remember that. And then when he asked for the match, I was like, sure. And I was as confident going into that one as I am going into this one. I felt pretty good, and it went fine, went my way. But it's been training like crazy and dieting. I'm coming down. I don't like being a 270-pound guy anymore. I'm 245 right now, so I'll be 230s next week, and then I'll just chill there for a little bit.
I weighed in at 227 this morning. So
Yeah.
Because I was 250. The one thing I always do January 1st, I always hop on the scale. Okay, let's see where we're at. How bad was I during the holidays? So hop on the scales. Pretty much, I mean, it was 249.6, something like that. So we'll call it rounded up 250. I'm thinking, okay, I spent way too much time indulging in shit. So I'm like, all right. So I knew I had Winter Blast coming up. And then the Arm Gods guys called me and said, hey, would you be interested in a match at Arm Gods? When we go to Winter Blast. I'm like, yeah, what's going on? And they told my opponent, and it was like, okay, James Beach, all right, yeah, we can do that. It's a title match. I'm like,
It was
oh,
a tough
sweet
match,
title
man.
match. What title are we talking about? It's the Independence belt. I'm thinking, all right. He goes, but there's a one caveat. I'm thinking, okay, what is it? You got to be 231. I'm thinking, shit. Okay, so I fucking like dieted down, which I hate doing, but I think I needed to though because I
Yeah.
have, just going up and down the steps with laundry and just constantly doing that. I started getting winded. I'm like, why is my fat ass getting winded going up and down the steps? That's sad.
Mhm.
So I got down to the 231, whatever, pulled. Didn't work out so good for me. I lost what 4-0. So
Yeah, but you still did pretty good. And I had him, like you're my friend, but I had him as a heavy, heavy favorite. And you know what? It was only like a few percentage points, man. Like if you had a little more hand, little more, just a little
yeah,
more, I think you could have made that match. Like it wasn't far off. It wasn't like a blowout, even though it said 4-0. Like
right.
you were even in it at the couple rounds. So
I felt like I could have easily bit off more than I could chew with that match. And
yeah,
hey,
not
I
enough
admit to
prep.
it. I thought I could hang, but I was like,
And
nope,
there.
maybe that's not it. So
He's one of
now
the
it's
best
back to,
over there. He's one of the best guys they got. Like he's really good.
and then I go pull 3 classes the next day at Winter Blast.
And you win.
See them dragons right there?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
here, let me spin this. Yeah,
That's
they're right
awesome.
there in the background. Yeah.
That's so
So
awesome. Yeah.
there you go. So
Yeah.
and that right there was just like, wow, okay, cool. So and it's different because super matches and tournaments are different. Where tournament, I'm trying to hit that bullseye every single time. Super match,
Mhm.
like, okay, now it's more of a chess match. So, just my mind was different. That pressure was off. Okay, cool. So now, it's funny because my teammate Derek, who pulled David last year at my event, pulled Lewis this year at my event, who in turns, Lewis was supposed to pull me at Tim's event in December. So you see how that whole thing kind of
Mm.
ties into one another,
How'd
So
Lewis
it's
do?
weird.
Did Derek beat Lewis?
Yeah.
He beat him
3-0.
3-0.
Okay. And I
Yeah.
mean you and Derek are pretty close, aren't you?
I mean, there's Derek is
I heard
not.
you guys talking the one day on the pod, and I know he said, well, Jody's gonna do worse to you. That's what he said in that podcast. So
Well,
yeah,
okay, so here's this, and because originally when Gelder was in spot, still
yeah.
things going,
You were
he
gonna
had us booked for a match, Lewis and myself on
May
May
30th or something. Yeah.
23rd or something like
Or
that,
20, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
and
Oh,
things
that fell through, right?
happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that kind of fell through. So actually, Lewis was getting geared up for that. Like, oh yeah, I'm fired up, whatever. And then that kind of felt that they kind of took the wind out of the sails. But you know, Derek wants to prove himself after last year's loss to David. It kind of shook him up to where he said, "Fuck this, I'm motivated. I need to get back in." It's like, all right, cool. What's up, brother?
Hey,
How you
brother.
doing?
What's up, boys?
What's
Hey,
up,
bro.
dude? Oh,
Can you send Jody the clip of you flashbanging Nick? He's never seen it.
I don't have. It'll be on Polar Magazine.
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Oh, wait,
Now
Nick
we'll get off
Mode?
this
Yeah.
Yeah,
legend.
Nick Mode.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
you
have
got a
Nick
pin.
Mode. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know why I was thinking. I thought you said Derek.
Oh,
No,
Yeah,
we're
I can
talking
do it.
about Derek now, but so Derek worked real hard. He won the match. Lewis was like, oh, you know what? Tell your boy. I mean, Lewis is sending me pictures of his breakfast, how he's gonna take out Derek, and Derek's like, okay, motivation, cool, And then it was joking because I had all 4 of those guys on my show the week before the match. I had Saray, Nick Mo, Derek, and Lewis.
Yeah, I
And,
watched that one. I watched that one.
yeah, and it was funny because it was like, jokingly, Derek was like, well, "If you can't get through me, you're not gonna get through Jody."
That's what I
In
heard.
a
Yeah.
funny way, and he's like, "Oh, that's okay." And all of a sudden, he lays an egg 3-0. So, and nothing against Lewis. I mean, he's
Oh
awesome
no,
guy.
no,
I,
no, no.
I love
I don't-
Lewis, but he shouldn't be trying to plan a match with you left-handed.
I don't want to. I don't
Just
want to
saying.
pull Lewis anymore. Yeah, Lewis is actually should be a 242 guy anyway. So
I sent it.
Sweet.
Right on. Because
So did I? Okay. Now the guys came back. Somebody said that Lewis pulled right-handed in the amateur and went 0-2. Is that
you're
correct?
allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that.
I can't remember because I was repping the whole time. But there was times where
If
I was
Lewis is
asleep where I
watching,
had no
correct me if I'm
down
wrong.
rep
I'm not
because
talking shit on you, but
Oh
like,
yeah,
I like
yeah,
you guys
yeah.
at your
You
house.
can't
But
pull amateur. You can't do that. Yeah, he didn't do that.
I have to look back at the Aries because the Aries thinks it's up is in chorus of Aries. It's up, so I have to look back at it.
I haven't pulled amateur since I was 8. I did pull amateur for 8 months, and then I said I just wanted to get that experience on the table. But I mean, you don't learn anything pulling amateurs. It's no good.
I did like 3 amateur tournaments. Didn't win a single one of them, and then called out Jody.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, but you're crazy.
I fucking got the deep
you're a little.
No, I
You
mean,
got a few
that's good,
screws
though,
loose,
because-
buddy. Yeah.
Like, how are you gonna get better at the sport if you just pulling around?
Oh, you're right, though. You got to punch up, and you know what? You can't get to a level unless you know the level. I say I
Right.
tell everybody, you know what? Every time I grip up, if I get smoked, I at least know, okay, fuck, I know what pinned me, and now I have an idea of where I need to train to, right?
I've always thrived with pressure, like opening the tire shop with the baby on the way. Like, like it doesn't matter. Like, you won't.
You're a doer.
How much are you gonna just get some experience to where you think you're ready for a level step? Just jump into it and then figure it out when you're there. So that's what I've been doing with everything, actually, business
That's life.
and
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah.
But
Ooh, see, I like that theory because this goes back into why I don't sit there and rah 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 think about someone's fucking doing whatever
Yeah.
to get fired up, because I feel if I stay calm, I can focus more
I
under pressure.
overthink when that happens.
Because then things go in slow motion for me. That's just me though.
Yeah.
I will have to do this.
Overthink.
That's what I'm working on. Is not being like raw and crazy and stuff, because then I just don't think.
I want that. I want that. I just want to go off reflex and reaction and be mad. And then I can just keep pulling. Like I had a 9-round match against a guy, and I
Except
had
for
full
Brennan's
power.
match, though.
Mhm.
Like if you would have calmed down in the match against Brennan, and you're like, okay, then let me get to the press. That's the thing. Like every time I think like I want to get crazy.
Yeah, well, it was the opposite with Brennan though, because it was a fear that I got. So it was like my confidence, that overconfident feeling I had when he stopped me round 2 and came back. Have never been in that position before. Like, it's a first for me to be up and to crush somebody first round and then lose. I've never had, that was the first time that's ever happened to me. I've never lost, once I've won a round, I've never lost a round after it in all my super matches.
Right.
He was the first time he stopped me second round it was close. Like I thought it was there. It wasn't though. I checked the highlights. It was like, that much from the pad. But I was like, holy fuck. And then I got like worried. Right? I'm like, fuck. And not only that, he was so wedged. And when I was hitting, I'm like, I gotta break his arm to pin him. Because it was
That's what he said. He said, I'll break my arm.
Yeah. That's what I felt. I'm like, fuck, I gotta break this dude's arm to pin him. And then I kept trying and it didn't do nothing. And then I blew up, right? By the last round, he felt it. He just pinned me. My hand was so blown up by the fucking last round. And we had a war after that. We had the third round too. We had a really good middle table war, and I guess I elbow fouled or something. And then it was a good match overall. Like Brendan, he beat me hands down. I have no like, good to him. It helped me a lot now. So, and I can't wait to see him again and pull him. So
Yeah. Tell it. When do you want to do a match?
Soon.
Well, if you guys know anybody who wants to do a right-handed super match with Brennan, you have one August 2nd.
I do.
Yeah, he's playing Asher Dunham from Utah. That's right.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
150s inside. Big F450s outside for you. I'm taking the boom truck home, but I have Zuzu.
Okay.
So you're good to go.
Sounds good.
See you, boys.
See you,
Love you
bro.
guys.
Take
Yeah.
care, man.
Yeah. So Jody, what about
Yes.
you? Like, have you taken this match serious against David this time?
I take every match I go seriously. Like I said, it'd be stupid of me to sit there and think that he's the same David Till that when I pulled him last. But I will say this though, just like he said, he's a lot stronger, more smart on the table. Well, so am I. I mean, there's some things I've ironed some stuff out. I got more weapons in the shed than I did then, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So with that, and like I said, when you take an ass whooping for nothing on the big stage like arm guys, you tend to learn a lot. You know, you kind of go, okay, let me go back to the drawing board, and you know, I've met up with some people and kind of go, this is what happened. Okay, let's fix this. And so we had to break everything down again. Like I'm an amateur and go, okay, this is what you did wrong. Fix this, fix that, and then show me. No, do it again. No, do it again. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So again, it's doing that kind of stuff.
Strengthening the weaknesses.
Right. You know, this is kind of like what I thought. And it's funny because when you go to these tournaments or these matches, and you don't have the right guy in your corner, you know, where like if David goes to a match, he has his brother, you know, they can have some kind of jargon that they'll understand that somebody else can say to you, you won't understand what the fuck they're talking about. Right. So it's important to have somebody you know that knows you in your corner. That does help. Now, don't get me wrong. When I pulled James Beach, you know, I had Paul Passmore and RBJ in my corner.
Yeah.
Now on paper, that's like, oh, you're good. But at the same time, and it's nothing against them, but you know, they don't really know how you pull.
That they have to know you. They have to know you and your strengths and what can Jody do to counter with this going, right? But yeah, you get somebody going in there that says, well, do this, and you've never done that or trained that way. Well, then fuck, good luck to you. You know what I mean?
That might have worked for that guy, but not so much me. Here, I'll give you an example. We'll take Davis match with Derek last year, where I purposely did not ref because number one, I want to be in Derek, my in his corner. He's my teammate, but also Nick Mo was there, and he's telling him something totally different. And I'm like, I understand the dynamic because Nick Mo and Derek are cousins. I get that. But you don't train with him every week like I do. I know him more than you do, even though you guys are related. So there's a different contrast getting ready for that. And I was afraid that, okay, if I'm saying this here and Nick Mo's saying that here, he's freezing. David's like, all right, ref, just say go. I got this. And it fucked everything up, you know? So it was kind of like, okay, we get that. I guess at that point, I think after match one, I backed off because, you know, he was getting frustrated. And then, you know, he had somewhere to be after that too. So he had so much going on. Not that's an excuse, but there's a lot that goes on. Where this year, I was like, okay, I'll be in your corner. And I'm saying, okay, rubbing his arm down. Look, you got to do this. You got to stay on top of that for his match with Lewis. So I think that was the difference between having somebody that knows you and just having somebody that says, oh, yeah, do this, do that. It may work for them, but not so much for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they got to know the way you pull, right? And you want somebody in your corner that understands you and how you work, you know, how your body chemistry works and how you move on the table. And yeah, it really helps, you know. Like I got it, Sean Crowther. He is somebody where if I don't have him in my corner, I feel lost. So he's one of my best friends, and he's the best corner man anybody could ever have, ever.
Right.
When I have him in my corner, there's no losing. Like, you know what I mean?
There you go. You know, I'm sure David feels the same way.
I didn't have him for Brennan. Yeah, I didn't have him for him.
Right.
So, yeah.
I have never really had a corner guy. Well, I mean, I guess I've had Brennan or Jordan standing in the corner, but they're like, keep doing that. Or how about you just go a little faster? Like, there's no
sometimes that's all you need, though, you know. Yeah. Sometimes it is you got to be quicker, so you got to react quicker.
Yeah, because
I'm not a guy that's like, you know, same thing, only harder or faster. I was never that guy because it's like, to me, that doesn't make any fucking sense, you know, because I think, not saying I'm right, but it's all about making adjustments. As I said, you know, earlier in the show, got to make adjustments. You can go fucking 10 times harder you can. If it's the same goddamn move and your opponent knows that, then they're going to brace themselves or put themselves in a position where they can block it or catch it, either or. Now, we could talk about David's match and my match. Whatever happened in 2022 happened in 2022. This is 2025. David's different. I'm different. You know, we still got some of the same attributes, but he's going to come in probably with a different game plan. I'm going to come in with a different game plan. And it goes back to this. I can watch all the video on David. That doesn't mean he's going to bring that to the match and vice versa. Just like you, Brian, same thing. You watched everything on Brennan, and what happened?
Oh, I know. That's
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
So,
Yeah.
and at
That
that
was a
point, this
really
is
good
where
example. Brendan's the best example in the world. Yeah.
so this is where your instincts kick in, right? So it's like I can watch everything. Oh, open top row, Kingsville. Okay, fine. You won't know until you grip up. Once
Yeah.
you grip up and start feeling those pressures, then for me, then the light goes on, thinking, okay, I don't know what I need to do because what I like to do is that if I grip up with somebody, you know, I'll have a game plan what I want to do before I grip up. Once I grip up, I'm either going to go, okay, I can pull this off, or,
You know on the
I
setup
might pull
anyway.
this off,
Yeah.
or B, nope, I got to go somewhere else. And this is not
Yeah.
going to work.
Yeah.
And that's going on in a matter of seconds before the ref says ready to go.
Yep. No, it's true.
So,
Well, because you know why? You don't really know what the fuck. You know what? I always have a game plan too, but based on that setup in the beginning, what I got, where I am, where he's gripping, how much purchase I mean, that all dictates a lot in my brain. I've many times went from top roll to a hook or a press because I felt that I can feel that top roll lane, it's closed. You know what I mean? So the setup is really dictates a lot. And sometimes too, it's also you know what? There is guys where they do the same move over and over. It's just a matter of can they be first, right? Like I've
Mhm.
had matches where it's went back and forth. Like me and this guy Byron Cahoon, we had a super match, and it was whoever got the go
right.
won, right? Whoever had the momentum going to the pin pad won, right? There was no stopping. He flashed me, I flashed him, I flashed him, he flashed me, and then I flashed him, and I won, right? So
So let me ask you guys a question. You two, and then everybody in the chat, because I don't know who's speaking in the chat. I can't see the chat, but let me ask you guys a question. If, because I hear this a lot, especially at the elite level, right? And I just want you guys' opinion. Because when you talk about the best of the best, the two percenters, whatever you want to call them, the elite guys, and we all make predictions. Oh, who's going to win? We'll use Levon and Hermes, right? And I thought Levon would win, but Levon would get pinned.
I did too.
I, I broke it down like I think LeBron's gonna win 5-1, but the one loss he'll have, Hermes will pin him, and then LeBron will be like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna blow right through you five times after that."
Mhm.
Now, I've also heard this, and I want you guys' opinion. When people say, "Well, if he beats him once, he's gonna beat them all," 3 or 4 times.
No, I
How do y'all figure that? Or what are you guys' opinions about that?
Like
Or
on
have you heard that before?
like people saying that it's going to be like a 3-0 or 4-0.
Yeah, like, well, if he pins him once, he's gonna pin them all. Like
yeah, I
I'm
never,
still
I
trying to
never
No.
figure
heard
that
of
one
that
out,
either. No, I've
Matt
seen it
Mask and
both.
Arackley.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all that was one adjustment. It was a little bit of fuckery and fucking with Arackley in the setup. He was getting Arackley, he was fucking with his timing, and he started playing around like Matt. I know what he did. Um, he was playing around with his shit, but then he made that one adjustment, right? Because again, that match, Matt was at a disadvantage because it was just like Nugo. Arackley, because of his lever difference, because it was Matt's is so much longer, Arackley starting pronated and cocked. So they say ready, go, bam, that's all it was, right? You just drag Matt over, right? Matt is like this, coming down and setting up. So Matt's starting opened up already. So Arackley's hitting,
Right.
he's just pinning him. This time, if he does this, if he goes against Nugo next time, he wins. So what I was like right away saying is Matt, he's because he's coming down so low, Rackley's already cocked and loaded. Matt needs to fucking fire up and get on top, right? So the second Matt, the one Matt figured it out, you could watch, boom, Matt was punching upwards, boom, getting on top of Rackley's hand and then taking him for a ride, right? As soon as Matt made that adjustment, it was like over, right? But what a fucking
Yeah.
match. Anyway, you got me excited because you brought up that match. But yeah, that was fucking
Yeah.
epic, wasn't it?
That's one that you can't.
Yeah.
I don't even listen to predictions. Like,
Yeah,
because there's so much crazy stuff that can happen.
it's true.
Right.
You know?
I won a bet and the guy told me to go fuck myself the other day. Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. You know Henry? What's his name? Henry. He runs some podcast thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
he came on the chat and Michael Monster Todd's. I'm saying it again. Yes, 3 days in a row because you know what, Henry, if you're gonna be a slouch, I'm calling you out. So anyway, he goes, I was talking about Matt, how he's the heart and soul of our team in Red Deer. And Henry jumped on and goes, I'll put 100 that Iraqli crushes him. Right. And I said, I'll see your 100, Henry. Right. So and then Rebecca said, oh, Neil's index finger says he'll see your 100, Henry. And then I said, do you confirm the bet in the chat? And Henry said yes. So I'm like, okay, we bet $100. And then the other day he was doing a live, like a 6-hour live, and I said to him, I'm like, hey man, you gonna pay me that $100? He goes, Neil's index finger, I told you to Instagram me afterwards, and you didn't, so you go fuck yourself. I ain't paying you shit. And I'm like, well,
Wow.
fuck you, Henry. I'm gonna let everyone know. I'm gonna bring it up whenever I think of it, and I'm gonna tell everyone you're a fucking slouch. Because he was betting, he was bragging that he won 3,000 in bets that day. Yeah, you won 3,000 because the ones you lose, you just tell them off. You don't pay them. So anyway, yeah, I got that
Man, you
off
better
my
be
chest.
careful because that kind of stuff they'll find you somewhere in the fucking dumpster somewhere doing that shit.
I know. I don't care. I don't need the $100. It's not my image and my karma. My karma's good. I was ready.
Right.
If Matt was, I actually thought Matt was losing. I was ready to message
Well, he
Henry.
went down to nothing.
Yes, I was just about ready to message Henry and say, "Hey, man, how do you want me to send that $100?" Like, because I'm a man of my word. Like, that's all I got. Right, is my word. So I was gonna pay him, and then as soon as I won, he told me to go fuck myself, so he's not paying me.
Hey,
So,
I'll give you
okay.
another Matt mask. When you're down,
Yeah.
2-0, 3-0, it's not over because didn't Matt pull Kalinchenko and he went down 3-0?
Yeah, 3-0, came back and he made a mistake and lost in the 7th round. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, to sit there and say that's why the reason why I asked that question for you guys
Yeah.
and everyone in the chat because I hear that so much now. Oh, if they get one pin, it's going to go that way. Or, if we're pulling, if that risk goes back once, it's going to go back every single time. I never understood that.
No, I don't understand that
Yeah,
either.
no.
I don't think it's true. No. Well, no, listen. What if the wrist goes back? See, Matt, it wasn't that Matt was losing his wrist and everything to Irakli. Irakli was just starting, like I said, in a perfect position. Like Irakli didn't have to post, he didn't have to back, he just dragged Matt over. That's all he had to do. He was in the perfect position. So Matt never
Right.
really. It's not like Matt got destroyed and his wrist and hand got bent around. It just Irakli just flashed him because he just had everything. So Matt still had a good solid hand and wrist, obviously, because the round 3, guess what? Wham. And then it was wham.
Yep.
And it was wham. And Matt would have just continued all day doing that because he found the lane.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But see, the thing is, though, when Matt made the adjustment, it went
yeah,
to all the momentum went to him. Iraqi
Yeah.
never made the adjustment.
yeah,
This is what I'm talking about, right?
yeah. No, it is. It is. I'm agreeing with you. I get excited.
Right. No, I get it,
Yeah.
So, but, good on Matt for doing that, and who knows what's next for him. But what's next for you, David, after our match next month?
I fucking tires.
No
uh,
match is set though.
no.
You said Matthew Cinco? Is that what you said?
No,
No.
no match is set.
I'll,
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
I don't think he's ready for him yet.
Man, if it goes my way, then I'm gonna probably chill around like 230's able to cut at 231, and then I want to pull Jack Sarecha.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Press
Just
B
'cause-
right there.
I've seen him too.
Yeah, he's super good. I've had success against him in Snohomish just at practice. It's just practice.
Mhm.
But but that was like 2023, so it's been a couple years. And I mean, he's like the other guy up here in North Idaho. And then if I get super heavy again, then I'll probably jump way too high like I did before, and like ask for Nick or something, invite Nick over so he can Nick mode so he can come hang
but
out
what
with all
is
of us.
Nick
and then we'll
anyways?
shoot
He
back
a
to the same time.
242? He's short. He's a short dude, isn't
Nah, right now, because he pulled Saray, he was trying to get the 242 at my event, but
he? Yeah.
because he found out he was pulling Saray Brown, he said, fuck it. But I think he's trying to get 242. And it's weird because I'm trying to get to 220 by next month for that Mexico tournament.
Mm.
And when I posted it today, I'm at 227. And Nick goes, well, I'll be in your class next year. So I could tell he's planting the seeds that he really wants to pull me, on a legit
He was
tournament.
supposed to pull. Yeah, he was supposed to pull my my buddy Sean Crowther. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean's ready for him. Yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be like strength versus table IQ.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a good match. Sean actually beat Don Underwood 4 months ago. Yeah, in a super match.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
where was that at again? I want to say
I think it was somewhere. It was part of the. I don't remember. Kentucky. It was a Kentucky thing or something like that.
okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, but if Nick makes it to the like near my body weight after our match, then yeah, I'll pull Nick.
I don't
If he's
think, and
not
this
too
is not
researched.
a knock on Nick, because I just don't think when you're in the gym, 7 times a fucking day or some shit, and like, dude, and I told him that, I said, look, man, you have great genetics, you're strong and everything, but you also got to realize you got that much on everybody else because we all got jobs, man,
Yeah.
families and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
That's the
you
stuff.
got a lot
You
of
don't
time.
spend X amount of time in the gym and going to every practice. We don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
So you fucking better do it. But I
Better
will
take
say this though,
advantage.
if he happens to drop down he's still gonna be strong, but he won't be as strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you always lose strength. I've seen it. I've seen it with a few guys that have
Because
lost
if he
40
thinks he's
pounds.
coming to 220 and think he's still gonna be strong as before, no.
No. You won't. You just naturally won't be. Mass moves mass too, right? So,
Mhm.
I mean, to a point, right? To a point,
Right.
it's 100% true. So, I know myself. I tried. This is months before I pulled Chuck. I was trying to lose weight. I got down to like 265 or something. And then I was weaker. I just wasn't as strong on the table. Like I'm used to always pulling 300 plus, right? Like
Mhm.
right now, I'm getting my body fat percentage down. I'm starting to build the muscles, and I'm still 300 and still over 300 pounds. So
Right.
yeah, but I'm always going to be. I'm just a big dude, right? But yeah, and
Yeah, I
actually,
find.
it's funny. Oh, sorry, David.
Oh,
I was trying to lose a little weight for your brother because I was like, oh, he's only 250. He weighed in at 272.
I know.
I was like, what the fuck is that shit? He also got me there too. Because I'm like, oh, he's only like 250. He came in 272. I'm like, how the fuck? You gained fucking 20 pounds or 20, you know what I mean? Anyway, that was funny. I had to say that too because that was hilarious. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I feel a lot healthier sitting around in the 240s
Mhm.
because when they first offered me the Dustin match, I said sure I'll do it at 242
Yeah.
because I was like 250, and they said no, Dustin wants to
Dustin's gaining
stay in
weight.
supers,
Yeah.
and I was like, well, okay, and then like, well, if you can find somebody for 242, then I'll take that match. And then after 2 or 3 weeks went by, Deion's like, nah, we're still just Dustin, and I was like, okay, for sure, I'll pull Dustin. So then I ate for a month up to 269, I think is what I weighed in, full clothes and pants and shoes and everything. And then after that, I was like, I don't want to stay, like, I just don't feel healthy
Yeah.
around that. And with
I don't think
the
so.
stress of my job,
Job and everything. Yeah.
I need my blood pressure. I got to watch
Yeah.
that. I'll come down. I'll stay healthy.
The Drew asks, "Where's your next match, Jody?" That would be in Oregon, right?
If you're talking about super matches, David next month, but just to give you a rundown of what I got going the rest of the year. So then that's what, no, sorry. My next tournament is July 19th, the weekend before I pull David up in Mexico. So there's that. Yeah, I'm nuts like that. So there's that. Following weekend is David at Myrtle Creek. October 4th. No, sorry. August 9th. Pastor Mark has a tournament in Gladstone. I'll help him ref, and I'll probably use that tournament just to kind of work on some things. October 4th, I'm going to Canada. I'll be at I'll be in Winnipeg for the Arnold Classic qualifier with Mr. Ryan Espy. So I'll be
Oh,
there
you're
doing
going there.
that.
When's
Yeah.
that?
October 4th.
Okay.
That's his Arnold
Maybe
Classic
go to that.
qualifier. So
Why is
I'll
he
go
still
there.
doing the Arnold Classic qualifier shit? Don't. I'm a, I mean, whatever. Good for him. But
Well,
maybe
okay,
I'll
so
come. Yeah.
here's the thing though. Knuckles Up and their thing is different from the Arnold Classic. Classic is going to be there no matter what. So
I know
that's
that,
what,
but they're still the same guys, and they haven't paid their other athletes. So it's.
well, everybody got paid from the Arnold though. That's the thing.
I know, but that's
Yeah.
even sadder. You know what I mean? So now,
Yeah.
anyway, listen, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into
Yeah.
it.
And then
Yeah.
of course Tim's event in Washington State, but that's where Lewis wants to pull me there.
Oh, okay.
So he has the rest of the year. I asked him.
I got to bounce.
Okay. Yeah. We're gonna call her soon. Yeah. But
Yeah, thank you for having me
it was
on.
good seeing you, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll meet
Yes.
you one of these days in person.
Oh, I'm gonna meet you one day, bro. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yep. And then, don't get hurt in Mexico or don't pull left-handed.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I know what's coming down the pipe the following weekend. So I know.
Keep it fresh. But perfect. Well, you guys have a great weekend.
Peace, brother.
I'm gonna go do some more tires.
Okay.
All right. Take care,
Good
buddy.
luck
Good
with
seeing
that.
you.
Don't work too hard. Yeah.
That's not a thing. That's not a thing.
7 days a week. Yeah, but anyway, no, I think, you know what? I think honestly, I think that you're too much for Lewis. But I mean, what do I know?
I feel that it's weird because if you go back to that match, if you can look up Armed Sports Entertainment 2024 Washington State, and on the go, I got the go, and he slowed it down, but I made an adjustment and follow through.
Yeah.
And he felt like, hey, if I could stop that, we can have some fun in the grinder.
Well, he didn't stop it because he still followed through and picked him. He slowed it down.
Right.
But
Right.
I wouldn't really consider that a stop. I mean,
No, but you know,
but I
like,
mean,
you
I
know,
get it. Yeah, no, I
Mhm.
get it. But I mean, I watched his match. I was studying for him because I actually was supposed to have an opportunity to pull him because I
Right.
wanted. I said after Chuck, because Chuck just finished losing to him, right? When I pulled
Chuck is
Chuck
fucking
like a month later.
forever on those fucking M spot garage wars. And
Yeah,
that
yeah,
guy
yeah. But
forever.
Chuck got Lewis one round,
He
right?
got him, and then that was probably the most intense match I ever saw
Mhm.
on video. And I was like, I can't imagine what it was like in person because I'm watching it. You know, Lewis is Kung Fu Louis. He's doing his
He's
thing
like,
and stuff. And
yeah, I
you know
learned that
what's
from him.
up.
I do a little bit of that. Yeah.
And it was like going, good Lord, this match is intense. And it's sad that it had to get taken down because,
I know.
you know, you can watch that match and get fired up about the sport.
Oh yeah. You see Chuck losing his shit when Chuck's crazy when he gets around. Holy moly. Yeah, he goes
Oh,
up.
he's an old rival of mine because,
Uh,
you know, back in the early 2010s, I mean, like, he was a 198 puller.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And so was I. So, you know, we kind of had our battles back and forth, you know,
yeah.
and he
And
wants
he
to
does
be.
have a hit. He has a hit on him, man. I've seen him
Mhm.
flash a lot of people, man. And I just prepped for that hit and just controlled center table. Whenever I deal with a hitter, I just work on my center table. Right.
Right.
That's all set. Like if let's say I was pulling you, I'd probably same thing. I would work on my
Mhm.
center table and make my center table really strong. Because I
Yeah.
think against hitters, people make the mistake on working on catches and shit. Work on it a little bit, but work on your center table control. Because
Well,
that's
if you
key.
you can still catch, but catching it here
Yeah. And
as
catching
opposed
it
to
down
catching
here.
it down there,
Yeah,
you catch it here, you're still controlling the center of the table.
that's right. That's right.
You
Yeah.
know, so
And with Chuck, I just basically stuffed him center table, and then he was just squirming, and then I'd pin him. Right?
well, I mean, that goes back to where, you know, if I ever got in that predicament, like, okay, if I'm taking off, then and somebody stops me center table and I can't go anywhere, then okay, I'm gonna lay down that match because of like there's no sense of burning myself out, and then I might come back with now I'm
Different
gonna hit for
angle.
position instead of hit for the win. So I mean, like I said, there's a multitude of things you can do, you
Mhm.
know, to get ready for a match. You know, I
Yeah.
feel confident that I got a lot of tools in there I can use.
Yeah.
There'll probably be the way he sets up. There might be some I might just throw away for
Mhm.
now, but there's some stuff I've been working on, and so like I said, I don't know. Well, we'll see because I'm going in there going, okay, I got to get this, but at the same time, my right's starting to come around a little bit. I did some pulling today. You know, I felt good. I'm thinking, you know what, I might want to use that at the tournament in Mexico, just
Yeah.
right hand and
Yeah,
save
I was
this
just
for.
gonna ask you. I was gonna ask you, how's your right hand feeling? Is it clicking, crunching, broken still, or you said you were having some issues with the
There's
wrist?
still area. If I'm in the strap, I'm fine.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, there's certain ways I get in the strap and I feel fine. It wears out a bit because I don't train as much anymore because of all the arthritis and stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't know. I can change on a whim too because what David said. I'm sorry. Yeah, what David said. He goes, "Hey, just make sure you pull right and not left and save that for me," which I understand. But you're
Yeah.
also talking to a guy who Winter Blast, right? Back in March in Philly,
Yeah.
I pulled the arm guards. I pulled 4 rounds of that.
And then you had a
And then
fucking tournament the next day, which I can't do usually. Yeah.
and pulled 3 classes the next day, all in the same arm.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
So, and I was fine. So it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
weird. Like my left is just stupid, whatever. I can't explain it. I can pull like that and be ready to go next week. It's fine, whatever. Whereas, maybe not so much with the right, but it's just trying to get this arthritis right here and this wrist right here. If I can get that to go away,
Okay.
castor
I
oil,
hurt that
whatever the
once.
fuck.
I hurt right here once, and it was
Yeah,
bad. It may basically wreck my hand for a while. I couldn't. I
right.
had no rise for a while. It affected
But
that.
the funny thing is that if I get here inside,
Yeah.
I'm fine because for some reason I don't feel that pressure. It's when I try to top roll.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when it starts to flare. But as soon as I go inside, it kind of relieves that because now my attention is like down here
Yeah.
in the elbow area, so I don't
This
have
is
to
where
worry.
I hurt. Yeah, right
Right.
here. Like I know I ripped it. It was pretty good.
I mean, I can still press with it though.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah,
can still
mine's almost back, man. 2 months, and
come
I'm
in
like,
like that. Or
everyone told me it was 6 months. I would be out 6 months, but I've just
right.
been rehabbing. I mean, I tried to do a super match recently, and it didn't work. My elbow still was hurt, so I couldn't. I had no side pressure. I couldn't go sideways. So I was trying to get creative and think of things during the match because I couldn't go sideways. So I was like, well, maybe if I just hold on long enough, you'll get weak enough where, but anyway, it didn't
And
work.
try to like out,
Yeah. Well, no, I was holding. I'm not a King's mover, but I am
Mhm.
a back pressure lat like defensive puller. So I can
Right.
stop people right there at the pad just with my lat and my back pressure and hold them and think about how I'm going to come back. Usually I punch forward. I try to drive my elbow and come back like this and bring them back over.
Right.
But I was doing that, but he was really good. And I mean, he hasn't lost a super match in 3 years, that guy. So he's really, really good. They call him Macho Man. I beat him in tournaments, but
Right.
I need to be 100%. I can't have any injuries pulling that guy because he's actually really good. We're gonna run it back again too. He's a really good friend of mine. So
Good. Good.
yeah, that's what
But other
nice
than that, I
too.
mean, little tenderness right here, but that's the only one I let go. Like how you
You
get
get
to
that
another side, you
release,
let go.
like an elastic release.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, we trained
that's the
that
easy.
in practice. So when you're like you're going and then you let go and you get that wah like you're
Yeah.
jumping. So what we
Hmm.
do, I don't know if you guys do this, but you know how a lot of guys just go back and forth in their warm up and they sit there and they just go like this. Well,
Hmm.
I don't do a lot of that. I do a lot of what we do is we'll go back pressure, and then we hold it 30 seconds and then we slowly release, lift
Right.
our arm, then we go sideways. We just put in pressure. We hold it 30 seconds and then slowly release. And then you can feel the wall. And then I shake my arm out. Then we go where I hold him for 30 seconds, like
Hmm.
not full intensity. He just goes to where I'm near the pad and then I hold for 30 seconds. And then I do it to him for 30 seconds. And this is how we warm up. And I
Yeah.
find that boing in the tendons, it doesn't really happen as much after that, like when we're practicing. So
Nice.
that's like if anybody's watching, that's a really good way to warm up your arms to go a little bit harder, like faster in practice. I don't know.
Nice.
Like I said, I never like just sitting there going like this and then pin me, pin you, pin me. I don't know. For me, it doesn't work. I like that static hold for 30
Right.
seconds, multiple positions. Yeah. And then my tendons are really good. And a lot of times I'm not even sore the next day after practice.
There you go. Well,
Yeah.
brother, it's
Yep.
6:30 and I'm getting ready for
Oh
dinner
yeah.
on a Friday. I got to see what the
Well,
missus wants to do for dinner. So, but hey,
it
thanks for
was good
having me on the
having you
show.
on.
Thanks for having Dave on the show, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
And you
Always
know,
happy.
I'll be ready. I got back-to-back tournaments next month, so I really got to hunker down and get serious because
Yeah.
I'm excited to go to Mexico because now I get some international
Yeah.
competition there. So check this out. I get to go
Yeah.
south of the border next month. I get to go north of the border in October. So there you go. Right.
There you go. And you know what, too, real quick. I know you got to go, but your activity to pull like that, I think is an advantage for David because he's not pulling, he's just going to practice. You're competing twice before you see him. Like your freshness and you know that feeling of just knowing your place on the table, you're gonna be
Yeah.
more embedded than he will be. So
Right.
that's an advantage for you. Yeah.
We'll see. But again, I'm not going to take anything lightly because if I do, then that's a mistake on my end because when he's coming full board. The one thing I don't want to do is get into that kind of stuff. So,
Well, the chat says thanks for coming on, Jody. And it's always a
hey,
pleasure having
Chad,
you
thanks
on,
for
buddy.
watching. I'll probably go over the, 90% because they're live right now. See
Yeah,
what they got going.
exactly. So guys go over to 98. Yeah, I did, and that's what I thought. They started at 7, so we just overlapped a little bit. It's not gonna hurt them. They're
Right.
on till midnight tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, West Coast time.
Yeah. I know.
Oh.
It's crazy. But anyway, okay, brother. Well, you have a good weekend. Enjoy your time, and we'll be watching for you, and I'll talk to you soon for sure.
Yes, sir. Everybody